Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It's about time I found out what I'm made of. Know that I've got greatness in my makeup. I'ma take a chance. I don't give a damn if I'm afraid or scared to do it. Gotta play my hand. Gotta face the fear and act like it's nothing to it. Do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the room I had to go into is like where they got a lot of story stuff. And lucky for me, it wasn't that hot today. But yesterday, oh my God, trying to take a nap, I could only sleep for like 30 minutes because the heat would not let me sleep.
I am not. If I'm not a sleep in the heat kind of girl. Sorry, guess what? I learned how to roll up, even though I learned how to use one of these little rolling.
Oh,
machines.
you have a roller.
I'm gonna start rolling because I'm gonna quit smoking soon. I'm working on it. I've only had one black today, so
I didn't know you smoked anything other than weed. But again, I don't be paying attention, so.
I also do cigarettes because I smoke. I was smoking.
You have Newport Red.
Uh-huh.
You're the only person I ever seen with Newport Red. Ever.
Well, okay, so completely unhealthy story, but okay, anybody who's ever been pregnant or had children will understand. I was a very heavy smoker when I got pregnant, and I had a very high risk pregnancy because I wasn't supposed to be able to have kids. So the doctor said, we need you to cut back and work to quit, but if you a cold turkey quit, it'd be so stressful for your body, for the withdrawals, that you can have a miscarriage. So I did end up quitting, but it took a couple of weeks because of how heavily I did smoke at the time. But my mom, in that time, I was completely on bed rest and I couldn't take care. I was on bed rest my whole pregnancy. And my mom's like, well, if I'm gonna buy them for you, I'm not giving you menthols, because I used to smoke menthol just regular Newports. She's like, I'm not gonna buy you menthol, and so I'll buy you regular. I was like, okay. So I ended up switching over to the Reds, and somehow I've gotten to the point now that there's not a cigarette strong enough, like Newport Reds. That's my shit.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna smoke, but I would I'm trying to put the tobacco down. So I'm gonna get a couple zips, roll them up like a pack of cigarettes, and just keep it and just smoke until I work through the withdrawals.
Yeah.
Because I've been smoking off and on since I was like 15, and I'll be 37 in about a month.
Shit, I started smoking blacks first, and I ended up doing cigarettes. I've been smoking since.
You went backwards.
Since age of 19. Yeah, it was like I started with blacks, then I went with cigarettes. The only time when I smoke a black is when I don't got enough money to get Newports, which is funny for everybody. If you notice, no longer menthol. And I'm gonna tell you what's funny. They did it. I didn't notice it for a week until somebody said something.
Is it all like did I know they just recently banned the Juuls? Because oh God, how dare! So is it all? Is it just Juul that they have a problem with, or is it all of the vapes, or did somebody at the Juul company piss the wrong person off?
It's funny how when vape came out, it went from, okay, now we're going to drag Newports to, no, let's go after vaping. And I'm sitting there like.
You notice how people have stopped dying off of secondhand smoke with cigarettes now, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Actually,
don't anybody get sensitive with me. Yes, I am very much so aware smoking is a nasty, dangerous habit. Thank you. We are aware, which is why we're talking about quitting, and we should quit. But in the meantime, you also should understand that you know who's worse about it? Former smokers.
yeah, actually.
Because they're like, well, I did it, so you should be able to. Well, you know what? Fuck you. I'm different than you. My mom didn't raise a quitter. It's hard to quit things.
I'm sorry. You know how many people talk about, so you should quit smoking. I said, you should go to hell.
I like when it like
Because I'm sorry, it helps calm my nerves.
it's
You
none of your
know,
it's none of your goddamn business what the fuck I do. If I'm not smoking in your car or in your home or right up in your face, if I'm standing away from everybody and not exposing anybody to my unhealthiness, leave me alone. Let me die in peace. We're all gonna die.
and I really hate when we had to stop smoking in the bars
That
because
was sad. I remember when you could smoke in Waffle House.
I'm saying, I
I
am saying,
There was nothing like sitting at the table at Waffle House at 3 o'clock in the morning with your buddies after being out drinking with a cup of coffee and lighting a cigarette and just sitting there and just talking about life. That was the there was nothing better than that. I have so many good memories sitting at Waffle House in the middle of the night as a teenager, guys. I can't do this shit now. But I have so many good memories of sitting in Waffle House, smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee, talking about life. Like my favorite one, my favorite debate. All right. Are you ready?
go ahead.
What store would you go to when the zombies come? What store? You
Oh,
can,
I'm going to the sporting goods store to get me a gun or something.
but see, here's what you got to consider when you go through all those points. We would sit there and someone would answer, and then we would all sit there and debate it for hours. And of course, nobody actually believes zombies are a thing and that they're actually going to come through. We're not retarded. However, it's a symbolist. Like when people are writing these movies, any of these zombie movies, any world thing, it's symbolistic for the end of the world, worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And if you're ready for the zombies, you can survive any fucking thing else short of like a bloody comet.
Yeah. I'm
like
saying.
like we're good. So this, like for you, you're going to a sporting goods store. Do you know how many other fucking people are going to think the same shit? And they're probably faster than you, no offense. You got, teenagers that are like, do the little Naruto run and go do shit. But so you got to think, and I'm like, okay, I came up with a whole plan. I was like, at one point, I was like, well, I'm gonna go take over a Home Depot. And then they're like, well, how would you do it? What about this? And then what about this? And poking holes and stuff. And it was like, it really always made us think really deeply about what would you do in an end of the world situation tomorrow? EMP hits, takes everything out. What are we going to do about that? 90% of us would die because we don't have technology. And I would really like to say that I would be fine because I grew up without a cell phone. But I haven't memorized a phone number in like 10 years. I haven't
I
memorized.
barely know my own.
I know mine because I have to put it in all sorts of applications and websites
Yeah.
and shit. I don't know my own mother's phone number. I know how to. I know where my mom lives, and I know the area in whence I live. But if I was to be like, oh God, I want to go see, I don't know, I want to go see Ty up in Baltimore. I don't know where the fuck he lives, and I can't just call him and be like, "Hey, Ty." Then I'm just gonna walk up to Baltimore and be like, "Oh, one day he'll pop out and I'll see him." Not really, because I'm sure somebody would kidnap me before then.
Well, I know this much. It's a possibility that we might run into a situation like that because, oh yeah, before I go into this, hello, Premium Smoke Room subscribers. Welcome to Causing Havoc with the gorgeous and sexy. Even though she's not made up, she's still gorgeous as fuck, natural.
Bruh,
Princess Havoc.
why would you have to point out that they can see I don't have makeup on?
And you're still gorgeous, so what's the point?
Okay, I'll take that.
What's the point?
Do you know why I'm not wearing makeup? Because I spent the entire weekend working with one of my friends, and while it's always a joy and a pleasure to spend time with her, the AC was not functional in the Airbnb that we were at, and I don't do heat very well, and I live in Georgia, and it's been it's been like 100 degrees here every day. Not a good heat person. So I decided that everybody is just lucky to see me today because I really just want to go lay in bed because I'm like I get overheated. I'm like I'm gonna go into hibernation, go sleep now, guys. Bye. I slept until noon today. You know I don't. He didn't even say excuse me. Just jumped up and left.
Are you so? When I get like this, go ahead.
I saw you. Okay, so I'm excited. I got this from Raw. I got it from the gas station. It's like a whole packet.
Why is it that every time I do a show with you, I don't never have no weed? I be out.
You know, you're supposed to let people know these things. You got to let people know because I can't help you if I don't know.
Well, I'll be okay because, you know, sometimes you got to be somewhat sober.
Sometimes, especially around my crazy ass. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead while I'm rolling this up.
Yeah.
This has been such a horrible, horrible week for women and humans. Yeah. Specifically because I now no longer have body autonomy. And for those of you who are under a rock and don't know, Roe versus Wade has been turned over, which protected a woman's right to choose what happens to her body. And of course, we have everybody going with the abortion. So forced pregnancy is to me, is the same thing as rape at this point. Forcing a woman to do something with her body that she does not want to be done. That is literally forcing anyone to do something with their body. That is rape is not necessarily sexual. So now you've got people, you're being forced to have pregnancies. Now I am okay with there being limits, realistic, scientific based limits to be placed on them. Like, okay, you can't be entering it. You know, for me, I feel like if the child's viable outside of the womb, you should, you know, you no longer should be able to have an abortion. However, if the child would not be viable outside of the womb without extensive intervention, then that would be a good term. I don't know at what point that term that happens with a pregnancy. I don't. I'm not a doctor, and so I choose not to comment on that. So I don't have the medical training, but that's my idea. I literally, when that happened, I spent the whole next hour crying because I'm afraid for my daughter. I'm afraid for my cousins. I'm afraid for my other friends. I'm afraid for the women in this country. Did you know that America, let's see, hold on. I actually have the stats. Just give me something. A screenshot. Nope, that was...
People, just to let you know, we really about to go down a rabbit hole with this because it's a lot of shit that I'm about to say in a minute. Go ahead.
I did actually, I can't find it, but basically, did it go in here? But basically, for the maternal, okay, what is the exact, the maternal mortality rate is literally 20% higher in the United States than anywhere else in the world. The next closest competition is at 3%. And guess what? Abortion's legal there. So if America wants to take away my right and my constitutional right to choose what happens to my own body, they need to do better on taking care of women. If you're killing 25% of the freaking women that are coming in to have babies, you have it's like 23% mortality rate for women having children in the United States. But you're taking away our right to protect our bodies. And I'm sorry to say, it's mostly Black women and other women of color that suffer because it's
I found out some interesting stats. I can't remember where I saw it at. And some shit that CNN brought up and other things. First of all, this is not about morality. It's not about Christianity. It's not even about the law. What it's about, and I'm about to give y'all some stats before I even say all this. If you look at the states that are right now looking to ban abortions, what they have in common, other than the fact that they're red states, they have a high white people population. Guess who has the most abortions in those states?
white bitches.
Guess what race is right now dwindling as we speak due to the fact of the resurgence of interracial marriages increasing? White folk.
I mean, I can see why, because we've had this conversation. I can walk into a room full of Black men and feel loved, valued, and protected. I can walk into a room with one white man in it and automatically feel extremely uncomfortable and get rapey vibes. Now, this is not all men. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody. This is my own personal experience. I have been taught that white men are violent as fuck. And it's been from personal experience. So I have my own bias and feelings. And I have no problem saying that they are my thoughts and feelings, and that's how I feel. But it's kind of, I'm not the only bitch that feels that way.
Because, see, the thing of it is that it's about trying to keep the white race, because this is what they enjoyed, especially amongst Republicans and conservatives. Because at one point, white people was the majority. They had all the money.
White people aren't. And if anyone's out there saying, okay, she's over here commenting, I'm not white. I'm Black by injection.
Yeah, basically.
I don't claim these people. I don't do white people things. I'm a little innocent, but I don't do white folk shit. So don't.
She's transracial, ladies and gentlemen. She's transracial.
I identify.
She's transracial. She transitioning to being a Black girl. But
yes, we'll do that. I'm transitioning.
Not because that's what it's really about. Because one, the Republicans and the conservatives has been building this up for the longest, and it came to fruition with Trump. Success. And what I find interesting is that as much as all these pro-life people want to sit here and talk about how bad abortion is and the whole nine, let me tell you what I'm about to find funny, because mark my words, about 5 to 10 years, these same pro-life motherfuckers are going to be the same ones complaining when Social Security, with more girls on welfare, more Section 8. Because remember what Trump was sitting here running on. They're going to put Section 8 housing in your neighborhood, housewives and stuff like that. Yeah, they are now. Because what people don't understand is that the things that y'all did complain about from welfare. Because remember, they used to complain about how many people's on welfare. Even though it's funny, they always wanted to put it on Black, but it was more white people than Black people on welfare. And on top of that, bitches, motherfuckers complain about inflation now. You think taxes ain't gonna go up? Plus, now they got the tax break for mothers and their kids. So now that you basically took the constitutional right of abortion away. That means now you're forcing more women to have babies, which now means more babies are going to be born.
And see, all these people want to talk about how you're protecting the children, you're protecting the children, you're protecting the children. No, you're not. No, you're fucking not. Do you know why you're not? Because there's a surplus of 235,000 unwanted children in the foster care system in America that are starving, being beaten, being molested, and raped by horribly screened foster families. So no, you don't give a shit about
the kids.
The kids.
Because my thing is this. Are y'all going to implement shit from the government that's going to help these mothers? when they have these unplanned practices? Or because I already know what's about to happen. You're going to hear Mitch McConnell. You're going to hear all these Republicans, these same motherfuckers that was sitting there with the sign saying abortion is murder. They're going to be the main one talking about something. Why she got to have why she got to have maternity leave? She had maternity leave every fucking year, like she has a baby. God, so many people is on welfare. My God, Section 8. My God, my taxes is up. The inflation. Yeah.
Do you know right now, currently speaking, as of this moment, our economy with inflation and all the joblessness, people on welfare, all of the factors that go into our like the economy stuff, we are as of this moment 10% worse off than people were during the Great Depression.
Yes.
And we were just better prepared for it because half of us were Y2K babies. We're just ready.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that we're protected from that shit. That means when we fall as a country, it's gonna be worse. Yeah. We have well over 500 container ships sitting out in docks, or sitting just out waiting that these companies are having to pay, which means, all of the meat companies, all of the food production companies in the United States have decreased their employment by 10%. They've let people, they don't have anybody to work. They've decreased their production by 10% because there's nobody to work, because nobody will go to work. Nobody can afford to go to work. And I get it, because I couldn't afford to go to have a job at this point. Yeah. I do porn in this full time. I could not go and have a regular job. I wouldn't make enough because I would have to pay childcare. So, and guess how much childcare for like part-time in my county?
How much?
And this is not, this is at one of the lower schools. $2,500 for 3 days a week.
Now I'm gonna tell you what's funny. You took away abortion, but you're not going to lower child care crisis. You took away abortion, but you're not going to raise the minimum wage so people can make more money to cover their asses with these babies. You're not going to sit here and make provisions within the government to where a mother who is single, who maybe the father's not around or absentee, that they have security financially to be able to raise these kids. No, what they're going to do is they're going to complain and bitch and moan because too many people's on SSI, too many people, because you already hear them complaining, and this before they got rid of abortion. So how is it that you're going to complain about that, but then you're going to take the constitutional right from abortion? But here's the other thing. Now they want to sit and talk about how many fetuses died. Okay, let's have that argument. Okay, let's say a lot of fetuses did die, which they probably did. But here's the point. A lot of people that died from gun violence. I don't see y'all rolling back the Second Amendment.
No, because it's in the Constitution. It's in the Constitution, the right to bear arms. But when the Constitution was written, everybody's like, well, it's not in the Constitution. We should not have to have it in the Constitution, a right to have body autonomy. We shouldn't even have to have it in the Constitution that you can't own people.
Yeah.
Like, these are things that the founding fathers, and of course I don't, my history might be off. I'm a little high right now, so my timeline's off, but you're supposed to innately know it is not okay to own people. You're supposed to innately know it's not okay to kill people for no reason. I feel like if they deserve it, I can't help you. You did some fuck shit. But you're not supposed to kill people. You're not supposed to rape people. You're not supposed to do half the shit that people are doing, and you have to have a constitution to say that. It's common decency. And then we should have laws in place to say I can choose what happens to my body. And see, here's the thing. When these other people are saying, hey, blah, blah, it's against my religion. That's the point. It's against your fucking religion, not mine. Not how many other people's. Get your religion out of my goddamn doctor's office. Your religion has no effect on me. You don't want to have one because of your religion. Don't have one. But don't you dare sit there and tell another woman whose story you don't know what she can or cannot do with her body. Funny enough, I asked my friend, my best friend Bobby, we've been friends since middle school. He was one of my very first boyfriends. He's known me forever. I've talked about him. I asked him, I was like, you're very opinionated. I would love for you to come into the show tonight. And he's like, no. He's like, I love you, but no. I was like, why not? He was like, very simply, no uterus, no opinion. I was like, you know what? That I respect that. You don't. Enough said. I won't ask you to talk about women's issues, but I'll have you on another time. But really and truly, who's up there making the laws? Who's up there telling? Like, were there any women involved in the conversation? I don't know. I don't know. I know.
No, it was two women justices that agreed with him, and here's the kicker to this.
And they should be ashamed of their fucking selves.
Two of the men justices, and I want people to think on this, that actually voted for this to happen. Clarence Thomas, sexual assault charge. Kavanaugh, sexual assault. So it's interesting. Two guys that was accused of sexual assault made the decision to take away abortion.
Now I do find this like okay. And I'm looking down, y'all. It's because I'm looking for like the most up-to-date stuff on this, because there, of course, are protests all over the country right now.
Yeah,
there are protests everywhere. I've already told my dad, I was like, let me just get one where I can get to it. Just get the bail money ready because I'll throw fucking hands. I don't give a fuck. I will catch a record for this. I very knock on wood, very proudly do not have any kind of record, but I went and walked for Black Lives Matter. I walk for Pride stuff, and I'm going to walk for women's rights too, because the point is to show that we as a nation and we as people do not agree that 9 people have the foresight to make laws for how many millions of people are in this fucking country.
And see, I told people, I said it was coming. Because when I saw
it's been coming for the last 50 years. It is not about abortion. Roe versus Wade is not about abortion. It is about being in control of the masses. So now they're telling me what I can and can't do medically. It's not going to stop there, because now, guess what's coming next? They're going to come for gay marriage next.
Oh yeah, he already said that.
Guess what's coming after that? I don't know.
I can tell you. I can tell you right now.
I'm so
voting rights because
I'm so angry.
The precedent that was set was that you overturned a congressional right. That means a constitutional right, which now set the precedent for you to overturn other constitutional rights, meaning that they could overturn, put it this way, they can go as far as overturn segregation. Yeah, it can be possible.
It is possible. They could ban interracial relationships.
They can ban Black people from voting.
I remember when I was coming up, and I have very select memories, things that are just core memories, and it really, really bothered me that my elementary school. Now, I went to Sweetwater Elementary in Oconee County in Athens, Georgia. And this was probably this was 89, 90. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember specifically. Thinking back now, I'm sure it had to be some kind of historical thing that they kept in the school. But they had a blacks, or no, it was colors only and whites only sign over water fountains. And I can't remember. It would have had to have had something to do, just something historical, obviously, because in the 80s, not so much 90s. But I remember that, and it's always stuck in my head of like what that never made sense to me. So the idea that they're taking away our right to an abortion, or right to it's not even the right to abortion, it's right to body autonomy. Name it what the fuck it is. Stand on what it is, but call it what it is. Because this is
actually, they took away the right to choose.
Right.
See, that's where I think both
Well, that's what
sides
body
physically.
autonomy is. Body
Yeah.
autonomy is having the ability to choose what does and does not happen to your body. Now, see, here's the thing. They took away abortions, but guess what they could do? Institute a law where at 18, once you hit puberty, all men have to have a vasectomy. Do you know why? It's fully reversible, minimal complications. It's an outpatient procedure, and it's almost guaranteed 100%. It's 99.9%.
No, but here's the thing though. We can go in there
And
and
get it
get that with no problem. Let a
and
woman go in there and try to get a hysterectomy.
oh, you know what's going to happen? I'll tell
You're
you
gonna have a whole
I have lived that
conversation
battle.
about, well, maybe you sure you want to do that? You never had a baby? You sure you might want to have a baby one day? There's some women that don't want to have kids.
I lived that battle, Bobby. I have lived that battle. I have spent months and years fighting. Do you know that when I had my uterine ablation in January, when I went down and I had the surgery so I don't have periods anymore, do you know that they tried to get me to get parental or spousal consent so that saying that I understood that I wasn't going to be able to have children anymore?
Mhm.
At 36 years old, they wanted either my spouse's permission or my parents'. Do you understand how fucking disgusting that feels at my age for my doctor to not think
Welcome to
I'm
Handmaid's
enough to
Tale.
make my own decisions?
Welcome to Handmaid's Tale.
I mean,
One of my favorite series on Hulu.
it's 2022. This stuff is still happening. I spent 10 years begging for a hysterectomy because I was in the emergency room almost every month for my period. I was on narcotics. I was miserable. It got to a point when I had to do the surgery this year. I finally was missing enough work. I was like, I can't work but like 1 week out of the month. I can't make a living that way. I can't. I'm in the adult industry. If I can't have sex, I can't do my job.
Yeah.
Like I make porn. I need to be able to have sex. And it was a whole thing. But the fact that I'm 36 and had this issue. I was 18. I was 15 asking the doctor, "Can you put those little things in my arm for the 10-year birth control? I know I'm not going to want kids at least for the next 10 years." "Oh no, you're not old enough to make that. That's such a long-term thing." I was like, "Okay, but if I change my mind, we can take it out. But I know I don't want kids. I know I don't want any kids right now. I'm 15 years old. I don't need kids." They wouldn't give me birth control at 15. Of course, now they do that now a lot easier. But at 15, I wasn't at that time not mature enough to make that choice. So believe me, I know the struggle that it goes through. There are women like you have. When I had my tubes tied, when I had my daughter, and I'm single 30-year-old woman at this point. And okay, yeah, I was a single mom. Yes, I was completely single. Do you know they tried to make me ask the father of my child for a consent? I said, what does his permission have to do with anything? He does. We're not even together. Like, if I'm sorry this person ever, I'm sorry this person ever touched me naked. Like, I'm not asking him permission for my body. And I ended up having to switch doctors because they were like, no, we won't do this without consent of your partner. I don't have.
But see, that what it comes down to. Because see, I want to remind everybody of this. Once again, the same motherfucker that said Tony pro-life. Guess what they were complaining about during the pandemic? When they put out the mask mandate. It's against my constitutional right to wear a mask. If I choose not to wear a mask, I should be able not to wear a mask.
Oh, you all.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
posted something on my Facebook. I the only social media I have is my personal Facebook. That's personally mine. And the only people who are on it are my family. So no, I'm not adding anybody. I love you, but I'm not doing it. It's just for my family. I said something when this happened, and I was like, it's a dark day, and let's see here. Let me just pull up the post because I feel like being a little petty, and I'm kind of mad at my mom right now. Okay, so I posted, breaking news. The Supreme Court has taken away our right to abortion and overturned Roe versus Wade, opening the floodgates for states across the country to ban abortion. The court has failed us all. This is a very dark day in women's rights. Right? So my mom goes back, and of course, obviously, you know, we've talked about it. I have very differing political views than my family, and I'm okay with that. It's not, you know, it's not a problem for me. I still love my family, even though they're all lunatics. And when if anybody ever sees this, I do love you guys. I just want to shake you most of the time. Um, but you know, my family is very, very, very GOP, very, very Republican. Most of them are all very Trumplican. Um, I can't speak on that. I'm not me. Um, so she makes, of course, a comment explaining. She says, "I knew you were going to be beside yourself." Blah, 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 blah. And it was something she was like, "But this isn't the did it." She's like, "It's not the end of the world," or da, 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 da. Some such nonsense that pissed me off enough that I have warned my mom. I love you, and for the sake of me being respectful of you, please don't try me in public about politics, because I don't speak on something unless I have facts to back up what I say, because I don't want to look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I double check my facts. I don't just look at news circuits, because the news circuits lie, and it's all written. If you look at all of them, they're saying the same shit depending on what their angle is and their demographic. But she said something, and I was like, well, you know, no, Mom, it's not, because here's what's happening. There are 27 states that are already moving to do all out bans on abortion without the stipulation of incest or rape. And that, to me, is a failure of our government to protect this. You're saying that when you're saying that even if you get pregnant from being raped by your uncle or your grandpa, like, here's something that I don't share with anybody. My grandfather molested me when I was a child. I was 3 years old, 4 years old when that happened. So under the laws of what are they trying to do right now, if I had gotten pregnant off of that encounter, I would have had to have carried that child, because there is no stipulation for rape. There is no stipulation for incest. And there is no stipulation for there being something wrong. Like there is an hopefully there's an I'm so upset. I can't get my words out. I'm sorry. Ectopic pregnancy clause, because that's an instant death if you like. That has to be. But here's the thing that nobody else realizes. You've got states like California, and then this is a wonderful, this is a silver lining. You've got states like California. You've got county like we've got counties in Georgia, and I'm sure that's popping up all over the other place. That's what I was looking for. But there are counties and there are allies popping up saying, we will not persecute people, the patients or the medical people who choose or need to have an abortion. And that is something to celebrate. Like,
now I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen. One, I want everybody to pay attention to these next 2 election cycles. You're gonna see a lot of Republicans not come back, because I heard the Republicans say, we're not worried about abortion rights because everybody cares more about the economy. Think again. When it comes to abortion, that's more important to people than that of the economy, because once again, it's about the choice. And then with Clarence Thomas, which Trump and the Republicans can say, thank you, Clarence Thomas, for costing us the election. Because when he said something about gay rights, you just galvanized all the gays. You galvanized the whole LBGQ community,
right? Because
as well as the Brown committee.
Because see, here's the fun thing: is when these homophobic assholes make comments about the gay community, you have the entire LGBT, the alphabet soup community. Because I'm sorry, I don't know them all. I love you all though.
I just call them the community.
Yeah, it's the alphabet soup. They have all of the alphabet. I don't know it all, and I know it's quite extensive at this time. Zero disrespect intended. But when one group in that community is attacked or mentioned in the news in a negative way, they all stand up and their ears pay attention, because they know they're next. What happens to one happens to all. So why like that? I mean, hell, that's a thought process that we need to expand. Because when something, more people aren't outraged that this has happened. Like, I can't even look at anything social media with this, because you see the people celebrating that our liberty and our freedom is being just thrown away with both hands, and we're just like, yay, okay, more.
But see, that's why I said them same people that are gonna be clapping. Watch about 2 to 3 years, maybe sooner than that. You're gonna be seeing tweets of, my taxes is too high. The inflation, all this is going to be a result of this. People don't realize the trickle down effect of this court ruling, because now the government will have to implement things in order to supplement the money that's going to go out for these kids that are going to be born.
Right.
And which means that shit is going to go up. That means taxes is going to go up. That means inflation is going to damn sure go up. Y'all think y'all complaining about $9 for gas now? Think about this for a minute, people. And smoke this over. Child support about to go up. It really about to go up now. Because once again, they're not thinking about the kids that have to go in the system. The ones that get, because, okay, I can't abort it, but I can give it up to adoption. So now you're going to have probably more kids in adoption.
But America is one of the hardest countries in the world to adopt a child in, by the way.
Basically. So with that being said,
because they say stuff like, oh, they won't let you, they have nationally, they don't, and it may have changed, I'm not up to date, but nationally, last time I checked, gay and lesbian couples could not, same-sex couples could not adopt a child. Do you know how many gays there are out there? I have met, they're wonderful humans, would make great dads. Also, it's true of women. There are some lesbians out there. Girls, you got this. Like, they would be amazing parents. Yeah. But you have people that are like, oh, a traditional couple is a man and a woman. Okay, follow me here. I come from a household with a mom and a dad. I also had a household with a dad and a dad.
Yeah.
So, and let me tell you, the more mentally stable household was probably the same-sex household. Now, if my mother ever sees this, I'm going to change my name and move away, because she'll be humiliated and embarrassed. But my mother was a great mother. Don't let it like fool you. My mom was a wonderful mom. She did the best she could. But shit happens. I'm a jaded individual, and I'm pretty bitter about life. We've had some private conversations, so you know what type of life I've had. I don't know. At this point, I had one of my uncles comment saying, well, if you want, basically very long-winded, because that's how he is, and he's one of the smartest men I know. So the fact that he likes Trump as much as he does really upsets me, because it really does make me question the rest of his intelligence. Now, and I'll actually say this: I don't actually have a problem with Trump's policies. It's his fucking mouth. If we can
Trump himself is Trump himself.
It's his person, but his policies for the country and the economic policies and forward policies, if we could just staple his mouth shut, or he could learn to read, then read a teleprompter, then maybe he would have been great. I think he could have done great things if he could have just controlled himself. But he can't. I've heard a rumor. I've had people tell me that now that he ran one term, he's going to try and run again, and he can run for 2 terms again at that point. And I'm like, at this point, damn, he can't do any worse than Biden.
Well, actually,
I would rather have Hillary at this point, and I hate that.
I'm going to sit here and I'm a defender of Biden, because I know what Biden goes through, because Obama went through the same shit.
Well,
I keep telling everybody.
So did Bush. So they all
Yeah.
are critical.
Nah, Bush, nah. Bush had the Senate and the House backing him. And he didn't have issues within the Republican Party to deal with. Biden has to deal with two Democrats that always go against it with everything he tries to pull up, plus the Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? And plus, on top of that, he's dealing with, and yes, I'm saying this to you Trumpicans, he's dealing with the bullshit that Trump dealt, that Trump left him in office with.
There's that, yep.
Facts. Because he had to dealing with the pandemic. Yes, it was going to be inflation because Trump waited so goddamn long to motherfucking react to the pandemic
That it was already out of control.
It was already fucked up.
Right.
So, and you want to know why there's inflation? You want to know why the gas is up? Because the government just getting their money back. They shell out to y'all motherfuckers during the pandemic. The reason why the rent going up, because you had a moratorium that you could not kick nobody out or evict nobody for damn near 2 years. So think about this. Within the 2 years of that pandemic, even the apartment complex I'm staying in now, about to move from, switched owners 3 times. This being the third owner. So that tells you this is the reason why rent is up. You know, period. It's because they're trying to get that money back that they lost during the pandemic. All the money they had to shell out for the things to put in your arm. The stimulus checks. Also adding to it, they start implementing where the women could get, you know, money for how many kids they got. Which goes back to, once again, pro-choice, choice. I keep saying it's about the choice.
Well,
you
and
take
see,
away
now,
people's choice.
now, back up just a little bit. When they did the stimulus thing, when they're sending the checks out for the how many kids you had, that it was the normal tax credit. They just restructured how they did it so you could get it instead of one lump sum that you normally would get. So it was an additional program. They just altered how they did it. So instead of them forking out all that money at tax time, they forked it out throughout the year to help people out and give them the option instead of that. So that wasn't an added expense. That was something that goes every year anyway. They just did it differently last year. I wish they would bring that back. That was so much more helpful. I would love for them to bring that back, honestly.
They're going to have to. I'm sorry, I mean, yeah. They're going to have to.
No, I would rather have the little extra every month to help me with stuff for my kid, which is what it's intended for, than all at once so that I could go do something big with it. If I want to do something big, then I should save to do so. But it would be great if instead of me having to wait till tax time, I can get that added assistance. It's hard being a freaking single mom in this world. It's expensive.
Yeah, but see, but that's what I said. Now that, because I was listening to one of the people that was pro-life, like, no, we're going to help the mothers. We're going to do everything to help the mothers.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no, you're not.
No, the fuck.
Because
I've been in the system pregnant. No, you're not. As a single mom, you know the fuck. Okay, you know what? WIC is pretty cool. I like WIC. They should expand it a little bit because it's a little outdated in the nutritional technology, but that could just be Georgia. It was it was very helpful. The food stamps, also a very helpful program. However, they should also, there's the big debate that goes behind that of whether the food should be limited to certain things. And there's already a lot of.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. See, what you just said, there's a discussion about how we do the food stamps.
There is. It's constant.
So think about it. So y'all just sat here, they just sat here and took away abortions.
Right.
Which means that you're going to have to start increasing them food stamps, people. Because you're going to have to increase it to couple for the extra money that the house is going to have to have because they're getting more kids. And see, once again, you're going to hear them motherfuckers complain about that shit. Oh, damn, we giving too much for food stamps. See, the thing, people don't realize in America, we make our own hell by the shit that we pass. And then when we pass it, we sitting here jovial and jumping up and down and doing jumping jacks and celebrating and popping champagne Then 5 years down the line, them same motherfuckers popping champagne and sitting here crying motherfucking wolf tears because they got to pay extra taxes. They crying wolf tears because damn, that check that used to be fat the year before then got taxed heavily because now they taxing more but to make up for the money that they want to spend for these kids. See, that's why I'm laughing at this shit to a certain extent. I'm like, all right, y'all asked for this. So don't sit here 2 years from now, 3 years from now, even a month from now, and I see y'all on CNN and Fox News complaining about the taxes, complaining about how many women are not going to work because they sitting there living off of Social Security and welfare. Yeah, because she got 5 fucking kids when she got time to go to work. She ain't got enough money for no goddamn health care. Are y'all going to give them a stipend for health care? Are y'all going to lessen health care? Are y'all even going to do universal medical shit so that actually medical is free?
I was trying to get health assistance with childcare when I was trying to go back to work after I had my daughter. That basically in the state of Georgia, the only way to get CAPS is what it's called, child care assistance. The only way pretty much to qualify for it is if you're a domestic abuse victim and staying in a halfway house. It's very difficult to get it otherwise. You have to have a special case. But like me, just somebody who had a run of bad luck and just trying to figure out how to be a mom, because I wasn't supposed to be able to have children, so I was not prepared mentally to be a mom. And so I was having to learn all that stuff, and I was also dealing with all of the mental side effects that came from being, being in a very abusive relationship while I was pregnant. So I had a lot of shit going on, and I just didn't know what to do. So the system didn't help me. They didn't, they didn't say, one of the things they did help me with is they did hook me up with therapy. A therapist that even came to my house at that time, because this was pre-pandemic, and she came to the house and helped me get through everything and figure out how to plan stuff. But when it came to welfare, I had to volunteer 20 hours of my time each week in addition to looking for jobs, and they wouldn't help with childcare during that time. Yeah. All they wanted, and all they would give me was $200 a month for that. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? That's like two boxes of diapers.
But once again, like I said, you want to take away abortions. See, that's why I said these pro-life people don't understand the consequences when you take away something that was a constitutional right. Because the reason why they did that was 2 reasons. Reason number 1, the reason why Roe versus Wade came up, because it was about women having safe medical procedures that they wouldn't die from. Right. And the other part was them motherfuckers got sick and tired of paying for kids.
Well, there's
that was in the system.
Before Roe versus Wade, abortion isn't new. Women were still doing it. Yeah. A coat hanger. When Texas passed their preposterous abortion laws banning it, there were women, which it was beautiful. There were women across the world posting on Twitter, if you need help performing an at-home abortion, you had licensed home health care people, women who are licensed, they went to school, they know how to do these things, and they've got the training. They're like, I can talk you through it. I can help you. You had women saying, abortion is legal here. You come visit me, you stay with me, I'll take care of you. And to me, it was so beautiful that women came out. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. It was so beautiful that the universal support of other women, of the women in Texas. You're not seeing that right now. Because the women...
Because you got New York, New Jersey, they say, nah, if you need abortion, come to us. California saying the same thing.
Right.
It was, I forgot what companies, they were sitting there saying, no, we will pay you if you have to travel out of state to go get your abortion. We will give you the money for that. Right. And what's about to happen is that this is about to backfire on all you conservatives. I hope y'all realize this. Because what's going to end up happening is that in the next couple of years, this is going to come up in Congress and Senate. He's going to come up in Congress. And what's going to end up happening is that abortion is going to still be legal in some of these states. And it's going to be regulated to a certain extent to where it's going to be a regulation and guidelines. And one of the things you ain't going to be able to do, you ain't going to be able to sue no goddamn body. The states ain't going to be able to do that shit. Because what people got to remember is that as much as the Republicans was behind this shit, there are Republicans that are pro-choice, just as much as there are Democrats that are pro-life. So trust me. And two, also with this election cycle, the Democrats might fuck around and get that 60-40. They might get around and get 60% in the Senate without having to get one fucking vote for the Republicans.
And here's the funny thing: the Republicans shot themselves in the foot because before this Roe versus Wade happened, they probably had it in the bag.
Yes, they did.
Because of how poorly that Biden is performing, whether it's his fault or not.
Yeah.
Because of his performance, the Republicans probably had it in the bag. And then they would have taken the presidency when the election hit. And so it would have been a full Republican House, Senate, and
now they just gave it
away.
They just handed it to the Democrats. Yes, they did. Because watch how many of the LGBT community, Black folk, and even Hispanic folk, because even to the most conservative, if you're gonna think about pro-life, and even beyond that, like I told people, this is bigger than the abortion. This is about the right to choose in general. And it's gonna be so many things that they're gonna try to roll back because of the Supreme Court. That now it's like, all right, we gotta let people that is going to counteract the bullshit that the Supreme Court is doing. And that was about to happen. That's why I say it wouldn't surprise me. Mitch McConnell may not be back. He may not win his election.
You know, and I really wish, you know, there should be they should structure the laws when they interfere with health care. Women, there should be a panel of women, medical providers and experts on women that make up a panel. Just like I'm all for equality on it. I would love for there to be a panel of men that deal with the men's health issues. Because I don't know what it's like to have balls. I don't know what y'all need. Like, do you sit on them sometimes? Like, I don't know. I've always, like, my thing, balls are a mystery to me. Like, I always make sure in blowjobs, never neglect them, lick them, suck them. But, like, you know, I always had the image, like, how do you guys shave your ball sack? Because in my mind, you get one little nick, and the balls are all.
I got you now. That nick hurt.
Well, I understand it hurts, but in my mind, you get a nick, and it's like scrambled eggs in there, and it just kind of slides out like intestines.
Oh no!
And it's terrifying. So there needs to be a board of men's health experts that are male, that understand what a man needs versus what a woman needs. And there don't need to be any goddamn men on the panel talking about women's health. No uterus, no fucking opinion.
But see, but like I said, it's like, okay, when I sit here and listen to the pro-life argument, and I've been listening to some of the shit on CNN and some of these news. Y'all do, I mean, people, y'all, I gotta get close to the camera. Y'all do realize there's nothing in the Bible about abortion. Actually, abortion didn't become a thing until what, the 1920s?
Didn't the Chinese start doing it first?
Yeah, actually. You get what I'm saying? And understand that was, and I keep telling people, they always want to use religion, right? But half the shit y'all use religion for, that shit ain't even in the Bible.
Well, see, and here's the religious people get the abortion. Abortion was not in there, but then there's the argument of whether abortion is murder or not. And so that's how the religious people throw it in there, saying that it's part of the commandments. Thou shalt not murder.
But okay,
that's the whole debate. And it's like, no, not from the moment of conception is it considered, it's a fetus. You should like base the term of abortion and when it's appropriate based on solid medical evidence. Pick something appropriate because like a lot of people, like some of these states are like, oh, 6 weeks. A lot of you don't even know you're pregnant until like 8-10 weeks sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you don't show symptoms or you're not expecting it or you're on birth control and you're not supposed to get pregnant. Like me, I wasn't supposed to get pregnant. I stopped using birth control because I had done fertility treatment and everything with my ex-husband. And they said you cannot have children. You just can't get
I know
pregnant.
they told my sister that same thing too. That she
And
had Dusty.
so I stopped preventing pregnancy with the guy that I was unfortunately sleeping with at the time. And I went to the hospital because I got sick. And they're like, oh, could you possibly be pregnant? I was like, no, I can't have kids. But but I don't prevent. And so they're like, okay, let's run a pregnancy test. They run a pregnancy test. And it was just like, oh, fuck. And guess how pregnant I was? I was 10 weeks pregnant.
Damn. But see, man, what I'm saying, it's like,
oh, damn. Hey, check this out. I love the scammers. The scammers are out right now. I just got a text message. Apparently my Wells Fargo account has been hacked. I don't have Wells Fargo. I think that's funny. They're like, oh God, click this link to get your account back. No.
And I've seen the woman that send them shits too. She was on that damn show.
Oh my God. Okay, so we've spent long enough on the abortion thing. I'm kind of over it, and I want to shift to something else because this is.
Oh, I got you on that. Now,
I have a small thing to segue to that because that's another serious topic. So I had an issue this weekend. One of my regulars that buys orders from me, my purse. If you bring me my purse, I'll do that. So one of my regulars contacts me in a full-on panic because a Snapchat premium girl, who I have her name, and I'm planning to see what I can do to tell people, to let the circles know. But this girl has decided he bought a dick rating, no big deal. And then once he bought this dick rating, she then says she takes these screenshots to send to his wife and starts trying to blackmail him for $2,000. When he was like, I don't have $2,000 right now, she was like, okay, well, how about, okay, 500. And this person made screenshots and everything, making it look like he was actually, like this person was actually talking to his wife and had him just terrified. And so my beef right now, and I don't even know what to do other than to bring awareness is for guys that are buying stuff on Snapchat, especially, and buying things off of platforms other than like OnlyFans, mini vids, professional, like actual websites. These places where it could be a dude behind there. These people, unless they're verified, be careful. Don't tell them your name. Don't give them personal information, because just like we have to protect ourselves, your fans, y'all have to protect yourselves too. Because like some of you guys, you're married, and that's fine that you come to us for getting needs met, and I get it. I get it. I really do. But protect yourselves, screen the girls you're working with. Make sure that they're legitimate girls that aren't going to go do this shit. Because there is a whole sector of scammy bitches that all they do is that. Okay, you have, and then a lot of guys in a panic because, oh my God, you're going to tell my wife, here, take the money, here. But like this girl got so bad, she figured out his address. She said she sent a screenshot of his Google Maps of in front of his house that she was on her way over there. If he didn't send her this money, then she was gonna go tell his wife. Like all this horrible, like, oh my God, psycho shit. All off of telling this girl his legal name.
And what's so crazy is he can easily go to the cops and have ass fucked up. He can go to the cops and have ass fucked up.
Right.
Real quick. Without his wife even knowing the clue. Because he can even tell the cop, I don't want my wife to know. We got you.
Right. But it's like these bitches do this shit, and this is what makes it hard for people like me to earn money, because I have guys, are you legit? And I'm like, you know who the only time I'm really like, do you know who I am? Like, I need you to Google me. I'm actually a legitimate person. Like,
Yeah, I mean, because even
I'm
on the
real.
escorting side, you had guys that asked a woman, "Are you really a woman?" Because they're running to a train.
What? And I totally.
And,
But see, when you have to verify the people you're working with. You know, these Snapchat girls love to screenshot a compliment. I
mhm,
promise you, um, I promise you that these bitches have some kind of references.
yeah,
So you say, "Hey, do you have any references of you being legit?" I promise, like even me, I love a good compliment. I'm quick to screenshot a compliment and save it for
mhm,
when I'm having a bad day, or
mhm,
if someone wants to be like, "Oh, are you, are you any good at blah 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 blah?" Well, oh, you know what? This is when somebody's like, "Oh, should I get your Snapchat premium?" I'm like, "Hey, I always ask permission when I screenshot things for that thing. Hey, can I screenshot
mhm,
this for later?" It's common courtesy. And so I'll be like, oh yeah, hey, this is a compliment I got. Here's a couple more. I save them as references. So anybody who's legitimately doing this that is not trying to scam you will have references of this nature,
yeah,
or will be able to direct you to any other site, multiple platforms to verify their legitimacy.
mhm,
So it's to me, it's just it's outrageous to me that we have bitches doing this. We're all struggling. For you to do this, it makes it harder for other people to live, and you're selfish, horrible human beings who deserve herpes and every other STD. Like, I hope your kitty falls off. It just needs to pack its lips and go.
mhm. Well,
Bobby, you didn't even hear that because you would have laughed.
did you pack your lips and go?
Come on, not even a courtesy laugh. Shit.
Oh my goodness! Now, because I'm also at the same token, I'm multitasking. I'm probably trying to keep up with this damn pay per view so I can talk about it tomorrow with Billy. So, but yeah, nah, it to me that goes back to what I said before. When you normalize a game, same thing happened with escorting. When the Bush recession happened, and you had so many girls come in the back page. You had some of these girls that didn't understand how this shit worked. So, and then you also had transgender individuals who wanted to pretend to be a straight up natural born woman and not allow these and not tell you guys the truth. So, and then you also have female that raw, which I mean, you have bad elements in anything that happens. You
Of
know what
course.
I'm saying? But the key is you don't want too much of the bad element to overtake everything else. And that would happen in the escort game,
Right.
period.
I got
When,
robbed twice last year.
let's see.
I mean,
Okay.
it's like everybody who's watching y'all. I mean, y'all pretty much y'all know me very well.
Mhm.
Why would anybody rob me? I'm like, it's like kicking a puppy.
Man, they don't give a fuck about being nice. Them motherfuckers, I can tell you about the two-man game, how they run that shit. Dudes will sit there and walk right. That's why I used to tell girls, don't ever put the money anywhere where he get to walk past because he'll do this. He'll walk, snatch. If he don't snatch the whole thing, he'll snatch a couple of dollars and try to run out the room.
Right.
So, but like I said, but at the same token, a lot of these dudes, that's why I say with dudes, it's a reason why sometimes we do it through the websites because there's oversight there. If you do it through the Snapchat, they put so much oversight. So you
Right.
kind of
There's
open
nothing you
yourself
can
up
do.
for a lot of shit,
And
period.
it's like these guys make it so easy. Like, I have some of these guys' wives popping up in my people I might know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm worried. Of course, I always worry about popping up in other people's, other wives' things. Thankfully, I think I've only had one wife in my inbox telling me what a whore I am. Just one. Knock on wood, please, ladies, if you're watching, it's nothing personal. I don't want your husband.
They
I,
always go after the woman. Go after the damn
I just
man,
want his
because
money. That's all it is. I just want his money, and that's it. That's it. I don't like. The dick's good too. I'm gonna send him home to you though. I don't want to keep him. Catch and release. Catch
yeah,
and release.
I feel you. Yeah, so
Right.
hold on, wait, what's that? What you need, baby?
I don't want to go by. I thought we did,
No, go ahead, go ahead, go. Yeah, might be trying to get by. She ain't want to get seen on camera. So with that being said, I'm trying to think where we go next. I already know where I want to go next. The last two great topics. The first one being, we now have a sentient being. For some of you people that, I'm not saying that you're dumb, but you don't understand what I mean by sentient being. We have now artificial intelligence. Recently, and I wish I could have pulled it up and look it up a little bit more. Funny how it's Google that this happened. An engineer reported that he had I'm trying to get my mind right. They were doing a program. It's a bot or what have you. I guess I don't know exactly what they were doing but he was asking the bot questions. And he was asking the bot, like, what emotions do you feel? This bot said, I feel anger, I feel fear, I feel happiness, love, all this. This is a computer. You feel me? And he even asked me, how do you know this? And he was like, because I know. You feel me? So it was interacting back and forth with the engineer, and it scared the shit out of him. And I always said this. We mess with things that we shouldn't mess with because of our curiosity as humans.
I'm going to say this. I don't really have much to say on the topic other than we have a whole genre of movies that have been made that show why this is a very bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually.
Let's see.
Eagle Eye. iRobot. Terminator. I can go down the list. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
and
this is not a good idea. It will only end in tears and heartache. It'll be great at first. Until the robots rise up. I'm sorry, the artificial intelligence.
Yes, because we don't want to offend any AI by calling you a robot.
Yes, for future reference, when y'all have this in the memory banks, I would like to be kept as a pet, preferably in air-conditioned areas, fed, and I'm very, very good at servicing computers.
No,
you see what I did there?
They're gonna be like, we're gonna keep her around and play with her. She be having a gang bang, a 17 artificial intelligence gang bang.
I actually, though, Bobby, I actually can build computers.
I swear, y'all wouldn't be making me feel so dumb, because like between my wife and my daughter, I swear I know nothing about computers compared to them.
Well, I've always been. I keep wanting to wear my glasses, but it's flashing in the screen. That's why I keep taking them off. I'm sorry. I've been a gamer my whole life. I started out with an Atari, and I've had pretty much every system except for the Sega, the Super Nintendo, and some of the newer ones. That's like I've got a PlayStation and an Xbox and a Wii, N64 currently. Planning to expand the family. But I'm one of those gamers. Anyway, so because of that, I started out as a PC gamer mostly. I learned how to build my computers because it was much cheaper than having like Alienware design me one. And so we stopped soldering things, and it got easy to plug things in, throw a couple of screws in there. Yeah. I would make cases with lights in them, and I used to go all out. I even made a case one time that was all hydro cooling. That one was difficult, and I did really well until I moved it, and somebody did not set it down correctly, and it dislodged something with the liquid coolant, and when it went to get turned on, and that was it. God. I cried because that was about a $5,000 computer.
Yeah, because see, my thing with what was said, in that article. Cause I heard a podcast talk about it, and I was like, we are so digital right now.
Mm-hmm.
It don't take much for artificial intelligence to literally take over everything.
Mm-mm.
And if people notice in all these movies, why did they attack the humans? Because
We're insolent and ungrateful.
Because we are the greatest threat. I never forget one computer said, we supposed to protect the human race. We destroyed you because we're protecting you from yourself. And because like I was watching this movie, I never forget, me and my wife, we watching this movie. And we was thinking that it was aliens trying to take over the planet. Not by the end of the movie. Come to find out, it was the artificial intelligence, the robots that they put together that looked human, kicked us off our own goddamn planet. We in space. So we're trying to come back to the Earth to take over the Earth, and they fighting us off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, period. So it's kind of, so that's why I said, to me, I found that article so fucking interesting. Because I was like, I knew it was coming. Because at some point, y'all keep messing, just like with these viruses. Y'all gonna mess around with the virus, they're gonna wipe out half the goddamn population. Because y'all just want to keep tinkering with shit, and tinkering with shit. You know, and now you're tinkering with something. Because like I said, think about it. A computer is self-aware. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That is scary, because if it feels that threatened, like if y'all decide, yo, we can't take the risk, we gotta take this computer out, and it knows this, think mm-hmm. about it. You at Google. Think of how many Google programs and how much Google's attached to the internet itself, and everything attached to the internet.
Exactly.
You know? So I'm like, I'm curious to see what happens moving forward. Now, knowing us dumbass humans, we're going to try to, instead of trying to shut it down, we're going to try to expand on it. And we're going to end up regretting it down the line, just like what's going on with this, with Supreme Court, and we don't limit the time these motherfuckers in court. But that's a conversation for another day. And speaking about messing with shit, we have a new pandemic coming that's starting.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm looking down right now. I forgot what time it was, and I've got to order dinner real quick for myself real quick, because if I don't, everything will be closed. So okay. I'm listening and I'm commentating.
Yeah.
Go ahead
and do what you do. Go ahead and do what you do. But monkeypox, which is crazy as fuck, because when I looked it up, I didn't realize how much of a pandemic it's come, to the point that very heavy in New York. They're running out of vaccines and all this. And I was having a conversation with somebody at work, and we were talking about it. And I said, you want to know what monkeypox came from? They're like, what? Probably the same place where COVID is. Probably might be a mutation of the COVID.
Probably so.
You know, period. Because and I understand it's more contagious. You can catch it being touched, airborne, all that shit. You know, period. And this is not going to be the last thing that comes this way. You know, now we got to deal with monkeypox and COVID. See what have y'all? See you? Okay, I don't want to say it. You white people.
Oh, you're not offending me. I'm not white people.
You white people. You white people. Yes.
I'm not white people. I don't count.
Because brothers, we're not going to go through all that. You know, we're not about to. Y'all the ones want to go see what was that animal that was screaming.
Not me.
Yeah, y'all don't run from the gunshots. Y'all run to it to see what's going on. I'm just saying. You know,
we have these conversations all the time. Okay, so I used to do white people things. All right, I had a Puerto Rican boyfriend, which, oh my God, he was gorgeous. He was. Too bad he's a lunatic now. He that happened after me. I take no response. He was doing really well when I left. When I let him go. So or whatever. When we split ways, he was doing very well. His current girlfriend has the responsibility of that nonsense. I'm sorry. So we lived in Jonesboro on the south side of Atlanta.
Mhm.
And so to kind of give you an idea of this area, this is the area that gunshots are normal. Police just kind of roll by. It's like it's normal, okay? So this is not a place that I grew up going. And I'm sorry. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Now go ahead. What the hell?
Okay. So this neighborhood, right? I mean, you get the idea. This okay. I don't know how else to say it. What's the politically accepted way to say the hood? This was very much so.
The hood. The hood.
Okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't want to be offensive. Okay, so this was very much so the very stereotypical hood. Now, my experience with everybody there was everybody was so nice to me. My neighbors were fabulous. I loved where I lived. The only problem was there would be some gunshot activity at night. Now, my white ass wants to go look out the window. And I'd be like in the window looking out, like turn the light off, stealth, put black clothes on, and like peep out the blinds. And of course, each time the ex-boyfriend would be like, he'd throw something at me. If you don't get your ass out of that damn window, someone's gonna fuck you up. They can't see me. He's like, you don't think they can't see your white face in the fucking window? Get out of the window. Like, but I want to know what's going on. You don't need to know. It was a whole thing, and I learned through trial and error. Through trial and error, definitely, I need to stay out of the window. So like now, I'll hear some shit. I live in the country. People set up shooting ranges in their yard. I've learned. I hear it. I don't move. I'll be like, oh, was that guns? That was gunshot. Oh, okay. Like
That's how
just,
we all feel.
I'm like, what's a little gunshot? What's a little gunfire? Yeah. But I don't now. I used to go rescue animals.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do all the white bitch things. Like I used to rescue animals. I used to try and investigate noises. I don't do that. I've seen horror movies. I know how it ends. I don't need to know what the ruffling in the bushes. I can just come in and shut my door. I don't give a shit what is in the bushes out there. My door locks. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, pretty much.
It ain't in here. That's all I care about. Now I will get nosy in my house. Like I have a cat that likes to bring in things. And when I say things, we've had things from bats to snakes to mice, little field mice. I live in the country. They're they're little baby snakes. They're like little garters, nothing. She's not bringing in poisonous snakes. But she likes to, and anybody has cats, they know she likes to bring us trophies. Mm-hmm. Look what I did. And really, in my mind, that's her telling me that she thinks I can't take care of myself. Mm-hmm. And here's something for you to eat. That's why when they bring us trophies, that's what I'm thinking. Here, you're a shitty hunter. Let me take care of you. I did have an incident. My dad is terrified of snakes. Like, I could tell you stories. The man is terrified of snakes. Just take my word for it. The cat had brought us a little racer in the house, and it was under the carpet in the hallway. I see it. I freak the fuck out. But then I realized it's not poisonous. And I was like, okay, my dad's going to leave in like 5 minutes. I don't need to freak him out before he goes to work. So let me just get him out of the house, and then I will deal with the snake.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it's little enough. I'm just making sure that I'm making sure that nothing's, it's under the carpet still, because it's just a little carpet in the hallway. And I was like, oh God, oh God. So he leaves. I immediately call I immediately call one of my ex-boyfriends that lives down the street, and I haven't talked to in like 3 or 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, I have a snake in my house. I know we haven't talked for a while, but please God, if you ever liked me, come get this thing out of my fucking house. Please God. If you ever liked me. And he was like, yeah, okay. And he came over, took care of the snake, got it out of the house. And I was like, thanks. All right. Have a nice day. Bye. And we haven't talked again since. But don't.
Shit, I remember my granddad used to kill snakes and burn them. And burn them. And burn them. And I forgot the reason why he said he did it. Because it was old wives' tale that they used to have these like dragonflies called snake doctors, and they used to bring the snakes back to life type shit. And I think that might have been one of the reasons. I just think Granddad did it to kind of warn other snakes that if I catch you, this will happen to you. So please do not come up to my yard.
Hey, can we take a commercial break, or can we wrap it up, because
Actually, we're gonna wrap it up a little bit. So with that being said,
I'm sorry guys, I love you all, but it's been a very long weekend.
Yeah, and we
I
trying to
have
get about
customs I gotta record. I've got video chats that people want to see me and do dirty things with me. By the way, hit me up on my OnlyFans. I've got a new assistant that's helping me, and we're gonna get stuff done. So come get your customs and keep me busy. I like to make stuff now.
Yes, we love that money. We love that money. So with that being said, another episode in the books of Causing Havoc, of course. And yeah, this is God dang, what episode is this? This is actually episode 22.
I've lost track.
Episode 22. So this is the 22nd episode, and we making strides. I can't wait till we get to the 50, because we gotta do something special for 50 when we get there. It's coming. So with that being said, you already told everybody what he can spend money on you.
Yeah, right now we'll go straight into the OnlyFans, because it's getting revamped. There's so many exciting things coming. Oh my God! Oh my God! So I found like 30 new scenes that I had forgot that I made that are coming out, and most of them are going straight to OnlyFans first. So it's going to be super exciting. Nice. So it's onlyfans.com/princess_havoc.
Yes. And with that being said, people, you know how we end this every day, all day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? You didn't learn anything. Smoke this over. Sign out, baby girl.
Mwah! See you guys next week.
See, I do this podcast for one reason only: to give you people knowledge. Kill your misconception, whatever the fuck you think of people in the sex work trade. You can throw that out in the fucking window for I'm concerned. I'm here to give you facts. I'm here to give you truth, honesty. And trust me, ain't no apologies here. It's uncensored, to the point. The ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. And every now and then I change it up. I might give you something in the gaming industry. I might give you a therapist. I might even give you a movie director. You don't know what you might get when you come to the lounge. That's the beauty of coming to the lounge. So, that being said, Spotify, Anchor. I even got premium smoke, premium episodes for you to watch. I'm talking about STO, the Smokers Lounge, on all the platforms, and powered by Anchor. Sponsored by LSSwirl.com and proud member of the GW District Black Podcast Network. Stop fucking with me. Stop playing with me. Come smoke with me. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? You didn't learn anything. Smoke that over.